after I sold the company, went to a therapist, started working with a therapist to deal with this unrelated personal stuff. And the therapist was kind of like, hey, how do you benchmark your own decisions against, yourself? And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, make a decision. Well, think about it. What feels right? And he was like, okay, yeah, that doesn't really work super well. You may need some kind of guidelines, and guidelines that you would review it and assess over time and understand, like, are they still actually your guidelines or not, right? Because it's very easy to trick yourself situationally. And so he gave me this exercise, and the exercise is, it's a sheet of paper with a list of, I want to say, 30 or 40 or 50 values that are commonly held by individuals, and that you pick the top 10 most important, you ignore the rest, and then you take those top 10 and you stack rank them, right, in terms of importance to you. You'd think like, oh, why not just stack rank all 50? Stack ranking even 10 takes a surprising amount of time. I think it took me a few hours in multiple, multiple 30-minute increments, kind of like to restack rank, restack rank, restack rank. I kept doing it on different flights I was on, actually. It's amazing how clarifying the process is of what you give a shit about and how much relative to one another, right? Like, how much do you care about friends versus family, right? Different for everybody, right? How much do you care about wealth versus power, right? How much do you care about power versus recognition, right? Like, there's all these things that, are very personal. And stopping and asking yourself to understand why, like, what do you actually value and why does that, matter? And for me, what happened was I had these top 10, right? And I looked at them, and selling the company, I think, impacted negatively four or five of them.
Yeah.
And I was even teasing my partner the other day. She was like, what would happen if we broke up? I'm like, yeah, that would impact one of my values. And selling the company impacted four or five. So, like, think about, like, the psychological harm that happens in a breakup, right? Versus, like, imagine if it was 4 to 5 times worse than that, right? Like, that's kind of the degree of impact that it had on me.